What is up, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WP Workshop. What we're doing today is taking your blog posts from WordPress and storing them in a Google spreadsheet. It's all gonna happen for free and, most importantly, automatically. Let's go! And you know, there are some great tools on the web, there are some great automation plugins for WordPress, but the thing with them is that while some of them allow you to export stuff to Google spreadsheets, those features aren't usually free. So what we're gonna do is be a little clever. And the clever part is that there really is a way to get your posts from WordPress blog to a Google spreadsheet for free, but you have to combine a couple of tools together. And this is what's awesome about automations really, is that you don't just have to use one tool, you can use a range of them. You can put one after the other and then have your automation span across multiple actions. So yeah, let's get it started, let's see what's possible. Alright, so welcome to my WordPress setup. As always, very complex. So how we're gonna do this? We're gonna do this by using a couple of plugins. Sorry, one plugin, just one plugin. There's one plugin that wasn't really intended to be used that way. The plugin is called Better Notifications for WP. Let's just install it, activate, of course, and let's go right into the plugins section in here. Let's add a notification and let's call it Post Published. And first up, this is the main setting. This is what you actually want to get a notification about. So for us, that would be new post published. Email formatting, I'd say plain text for simplicity. All of those not needed. And here it's gonna be who do you want to send this notification to. So I've just set up some test user account to serve this purpose. What's important is that this plugin is gonna check whatever the email address associated with this user account is, and it's just gonna send the notification to there. So for me, that's this. Subject, this is the tricky part. Let's make it something that's gonna be recognizable and unique on a per post basis. So what I like to do is just use some unique keyword in here, for instance, ppubl. I'm gonna explain the specifics once we are at the second step of this automation. But for now, let's just include all the info that we would like to have in here. This plugin, it comes with some shortcodes, which means that you can put some placeholders that are gonna get replaced by the actual data that you're gonna be fetching. So for me, I'm, for instance, interested in something like the post permalink, for example. So I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna put it in here. What I'm also interested in is the post author, so let's use that as well. What I like to do is also add placeholders in between all those details just so that I can filter them out in an easier way later on. So for me, this is just those two characters. What are those called even? Let's see. This is called a vertical bar. All right, good to know. Here's a vertical bar, but I digress. All right. So let's go with double vertical bars. And as you can see, right now we have a lot of information in the subject line alone, but we can also use, of course, the actual body part of the email. Let's switch to text. I don't know, let's just do title and insert the post title, which would probably be something like post title, right? Let's put it here and there we have it. Or you know what? Let's just only leave the title. It's gonna be much easier to deal with, like later on. But nothing is stopping you from, even taking the whole content of the post. You can just grab post content, you can grab whatever else you want, really. So, okay, this is basically the whole notification email that we want to be sending. So let's just save it. You can see it right here on your list of your notifications. Important part, somewhat important, is that, of course, this plugin is gonna send those emails using WordPress's built-in mail function. If those emails aren't getting to you, you might want to use SMTP plugin, as even the notification right here says. Alright, so that's the first part. Second part, what to do with those emails and what does it have to do with Google Spreadsheets, right? Okay, good question. So what we're gonna do is go to make.com. Make.com is kind of a Zapier alternative, which allows you to do a lot of automations for free. And it has one tricky function that I'm gonna show you later on. That's basically the main reason why I'm using this instead of Zapier. So, sign up is pretty simple. You just give it all your data and so on. I already have my account here. So what you have to do here is pretty simple. You just start by clicking this button, create a new scenario, and in it, you get to pick the first element that you want to automate. This is what's called the trigger. It's what's triggering the automation to happen. So in our case, Make is even suggesting the most popular things that could be done. So email is what we want. Let's pick watch emails since we are watching emails. So what you have to do here is first off, set an integration that would allow make.com to connect to your email and to see what's going on there, to get access to all the messages. So go ahead and set up Make using the same email that you used for the user that is receiving those notifications. So for me, that's user Carol Notify, and Carol Notify has some email attached to the user account, and I'm using Make to connect to the same email account. So this is what you have to do, just integrate it. Then you get to pick the folder that's gonna be looked up as part of this automation. Let's just go with inbox, criteria, all emails, sender, email address. Not that relevant in this case, because we are using another trick, and that trick is gonna be in here in subject. So basically, Make is gonna pay attention only to the emails that have this phrase in the subject line. And as you know, our notifications are gonna have this phrase at the very start. So this is how you do it, this is how you set it up. The rest of the settings isn't that important, so just click OK. You also tell it to pay attention to the new emails from now on. So whenever an email like this is received, Make is gonna do something. So what it's gonna do? It's gonna use, of course, Google Sheets. And what it's gonna do is add a row. So in here, again, what you have to do is configure make.com to be able to connect to your Google account. Just add it as an integration right here. And then let's just pick the correct spreadsheet that's gonna be used for this automation. So for that to happen, you of course first have to create one. So I just created one right here. It's a very simple thing, very simple spreadsheet. Let's go back. First off, search by path. This is the default setting. Next, My Drive, and then spreadsheet. For me, that's the name of the spreadsheet that I created right here. Does the table contain headers? Yes, it does. So yes. And now the fun part, which is mapping the fields. So let's do it here. So week, let's leave that for the last step. Let's start with the date. As you can see, there are some suggestions here. So this is coming from the email itself. So let's just look for something called date, which would be this one. Excuse the Polish date format. And just including it as it is right here, it should work. But what I like to do is to use specific formatting for the date. And I just want to show you that it's possible to do a lot of things in here. So you will see that Make also suggests a number of functions, a number of variables that you can use here. So let's just switch to this calendar here and let's just look for some function that might be helpful. This is gonna be this one, format date. And you can do some specific things with it. So I'm just gonna grab the date from here, put it in the right spot. So I'm just gonna do something simple. I'm just gonna do month, day, and year. Next, title. So as you remember, maybe the title is given inside the body content of the email. So this is very simple to fetch. All we do is just, let's go back to the email fields and let's just grab it. Text content. This is it. This is all. Next, permalink. Permalink is going to be a bit more tricky to fetch because remember what we did here, is that we included a lot of details in the subject line. So the permalink is actually in between those two vertical bars on either side. The function that does this, it's in here in text and binary functions, and it's gonna be split. So first let's give it the subject line again. Where is the subject? Subject, all right. Let's tell it to split using those double vertical bars. And what this function is gonna do now is create a table with everything it finds once it splits the string. So what we have to do now is to get a specific element of this table. This is done, of course, by a simple function called get. So for this one, what we have to do is tell it to first grab from this whole table in here, and let's grab the second cell. You can see in here that once we split this whole big string, let me make it bigger. Once we split this whole big string, the permalink is in the second cell. So this is gonna be the first cell, the second cell, the third cell. Cool. So that's it. Last one, author. Author is gonna be very simple to do right now because all we have to do is just copy this one, paste it in here, and then just set it from number 2 to number 3 because the author is number 3. And at this stage, this is pretty much done. unless we also want to fill in the week, and it's gonna work very similarly to date. All we have to do is just reuse this one and quite simply just change all of this to W, which is gonna give you the week number of whatever date that was. Okay, so I think that at this stage we have everything. Let's just click OK, and I think we should test it, right? So let's go ahead, let's publish some posts. This is of course just a local website with lots of emails, so let's just go here, add a post, test post, nothing inside, publish, publish, post, publish. Let's check out what's going on, and yeah, you can see the post as I added it here. It has the title, it has the permalink, it has the author, it has the week number, which looks good, but the date seems weird, but all you have to do is just to change the format in here and just let's pick date. From now on, all the dates are gonna be in this format. This is a very simple automation. It works right now. All you have to do is just turn it on in here. But maybe you also want to take your post and add it into Notion. This is a very trendy thing to do nowadays, so let's just create a database item. I'm not gonna integrate it with my Notion account at this stage because I just want to show you that this doesn't have to be the end. What you can also do is let's put OpenAI. And what you can do is you can message an assistant based on the content from this spreadsheet. So let's just pick message an assistant. Of course, you have to create a connection, and then you can basically create multiple steps of what you want to do with your automation. Just adding your posts to Google spreadsheet, that would be step number one, but afterwards, really, there is no limit at all. So that's been it. I hope whatever you wanted to automate, you've managed to automate. If not, let me know in the comments. Let me know how it went. Let me know what you've automated. Let me know if you see, the potential of this method and similar methods to make your work with WordPress a bit easier, a bit faster, a bit more effective, efficient. As always, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I'm Karol. You can find me at wpwork.shop, and see you next time.